The science of ecology biology links us to the web of life. We are a literal part of the creation, not some afterthought, a revelation no less powerful than the Ten Commandments thrust upon Moses. According to strict biblical interpretations, we are dust that shall return to the earth as it was, and the Spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Ecclesiastes 12:7. Thou return unto the ground, for out of it thou wast taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Genesis 3:19. The ancient Hebrews were not ecologists, however. If the famous lines from Genesis and Ecclesiastes had been stated with scientific precision, they would not have been understood for 2,000 years. Not one reader would have been ready for the concept. Dust was a metaphor for matter, earth, or soil. But in our minds, the word dust suggests mere dirt. We came from and return to just dirt. No wonder early Christians belittled our physical existence and sought separation from it. But in fact, we do not come from dust, nor do we return to dust. We come from life, and we are the conduit into other life. We come from and return to incomparably amazing plants and animals. Even while we are alive, our wastes are recycled directly into beetles, grass, and trees, which are recycled further into bees and butterflies, and on to flycatchers, finches, and hawks, and back into grass, and on into deer, cows, goats, and us. I do not claim originality in examining the key role of the specialized undertakers that ease all organisms to their resurrection into others' lives. I do believe, however, that many listeners are willing to examine taboos and to bring this topic into the open as something relevant to our own species. Our role as hominids, evolving from largely herbivorous animals to hunting and scavenging carnivores, is especially relevant to this topic. Our imprint has changed the world. The truism that life comes from other life and that individual death is a necessity for continuing life hides or detracts from the ways in which these transformations happen. The devil, as they say, is in the details. Recycling is perhaps most visible, as well as dramatic and spectacular, in large animals, but far more of it occurs in plants, where the most biomass is concentrated. Plants get their nutrients from the soil and the air in the form of chemicals. All bodies are built of carbons linked together, later to be disassembled and released as carbon dioxide, but nevertheless they are still living off other life. The carbon dioxide that plants take up to build their bodies is made available through the agency of bacteria and fungi, and is sucked up massively and imperceptibly from the enormous pool of past and present life. The carbon building blocks that make a daisy or a tree come from millions of sources. A decaying elephant in Africa a week ago, an extinct cycad of the Carboniferous age, an Arctic poppy returning to the earth a month ago. Even if those molecules were released into the air the previous day, they came from plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. All of life is linked through a physical exchange on the cellular level. The net effect of this exchange created the atmosphere as we know it, and also affects our climate now. Carbon dioxide, as well as oxygen, nitrogen, and the other molecular building blocks of life, are exchanged freely from one to all and all to one, daily on a global scale, wafted and stirred throughout the atmosphere by the trade winds, by hurricanes and breezes. Molecules that have long been sequestered in soil may be exchanged within the local community over a long time. Plants are made from building blocks derived from centipedes, gorgeous moths and butterflies, birds and mice, and many other mammals, including humans. The ingestion of carbon by plants is really a kind of microscopic scavenging that happens after intermediaries have disassembled other organisms into their molecular parts.